This podcast is being recorded and produced on Gadigal land.
We pay our respects to the traditional custodians of this country and elders past, present.
We extend our respect to any First Nations, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people joining us today.
Always was, always will be Aboriginal land.
Matt,
Yeah?
I woke up yesterday morning because we're recording this on Monday, but it's obviously out on Friday.
Welcome to Close Friends, by the way, everyone. Hey.
I just get straight into it with these ones. My stepmom texted me
Yeah.
and said, Matt is going on TV because she must have seen like some little snippet that they played beforehand.
Yeah.
Saying coming up, Matt. So Jackie's messaged me, quick, turn on the TV. Meanwhile, I don't know what channel is what on the TV. Like, you know when you're like, what's channel 9?
Channel 7 is probably Channel 7.
But, you know, like TVs now, they've got like 1,000 channels. And I'm like trying to fucking flick through to find it. Anyway, I finally got there.
Is your TV one of those ones that's like where 1056 is actually Channel 7?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And I'm fucking flicking through. I'm messaging Jackie saying, what fucking channel's it on? I was panicking that I was going to miss it. Anyway, I watched it. You were on, was it the Sunrise?
Weekend Sunrise.
Weekend Sunrise.
Yeah.
In your news era.
Well, I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know about that.
why?
So you want me to tell you all about it, do you?
Yeah, so
Well,
why were you on there?
No, settle around the campfire. Mama's got a story for you. So I made a video a couple weeks ago, which I'll circle back to this at the end and tell you about my journey with cash. I've spoken about it on the podcast before, that earlier this year, I decided I would start using cash and see if that could help me save some money or what it would do to my brain. I don't really know. I didn't really think about it at the start. At the start, I was just like, we're going to do our budget exactly the same as we always have, but this time I'm going to start using cash because my first thought behind it is when I was younger and I'd spend cash, something in my brain never made me want to spend coins.
Yes.
So I'd always put those in a money box and then you'd have all these coins at the end and then there's like $20 at the end of when it gets full, you know? So that was the thinking behind it. I was like, maybe I'll just carry notes and then I'll save all these coins and then, you know, that'll be how I help build my savings and things like that. Anyway, I made a TikTok last week because I have now been doing that for 6 months and it has really changed so many aspects of my life, which I'll get to later in this episode of Close Friends. But that video went viral, news articles were posted about it, blah, blah, blah. And then Weekend Sunrise reached out and they were like, we want you to come on and talk about it. And I was like, okay. And then I was a little bit like, because it's my first live TV appearance ever. Have you ever been on live TV before?
No, and it scares the fuck out of me. But you tell your story first and we'll come back to my thoughts.
Okay. So basically, I was really nervous, but I also think it was almost good that it was so early in the morning because I just didn't give a shit. So I was so tired that I couldn't be bothered being nervous in a way. Plus I got 3 hours sleep before I went on.
Oh, God,
because I was
Matt.
up the night before. We actually hosted a book club at my house the night before. So my friends were over, we were out late and I went to bed at probably like 1:30. My call time was 8:15 at Channel 7 Studios on Sunday morning. And I only had a few hours sleep, got up, cut myself shaving, it was a mess, hair's all stuffed at the back. I'm like, I can't be bothered, but here we go. And I booked Ubers because I was like, I'm not driving in because I was too tired. So I booked an Uber there and back, cost me about $70 in Ubers.
Fucking hell.
And when they asked me to go on, how it worked was they were like, we'd love for you to come on. And I was like, yeah, cool. My manager was kind of like doing all the talking, but I was kind of like, yep, sweet, all good. What's funny is just a few weeks ago, we had actually asked Sunrise if we could come on to talk about the arts industry and the coming back to life after COVID, I guess. Mm-hmm. And obviously then to promo my shows at the end of the week.
Oh, yeah.
And they were like, politely decline. We're not interested. So it's funny that like a few weeks later, they now want me to come on to talk about using an ATM because that's apparently what gets across to the people these days.
I know, someone actually DM'd me and was like, I should have screenshotted it because I don't know where it is now, but someone was like, they obviously didn't know that you'd made this TikTok that went viral. And they're like, to be honest, why did Matt go on to talk about cash? And I'm like, because he had a viral video.
Yeah. Let me tell you, it is so off-brand for me. And I was like, and here's the thing, that is not what I was not excited to go on Weekend Sunrise to talk about using cash. But when we spoke to the producers, we were like, okay, we will come on if you let me promo my live show at the end. And they were like, yeah, no worries, that's all good. What we'll do is to keep it in the segment, we will get the host to ask you, like, so what do you think Aussies who are saving a bit of money should be spending their money on? Which is then where I was going to say, in the live entertainment industry, we're still coming back after COVID. I've got my national tour coming around the country over the next couple of weeks, so come and see me if you can. Do you think they asked me the question on national television?
They didn't.
Absolutely not. That one just slipped their mind. So I went there, spent $70 in Ubers, got there, did my what felt like 40 seconds on national TV, and didn't even get to like promo anything. Also, the questions that they asked me, and this is no shade to Weekend Sunrise. I'm not trying to call anyone out. This is just my experience. I don't care. As I said, lucky it was Sunday morning. I really don't give a shit, but I'm just sharing what the experience was like. I felt the questions that they asked me as well weren't the questions that we had prepared with the producers in advance. Like when the host asked me, so, you're saving money in card transaction fees. I was like, well, yeah, I guess, but that's not what I'm here to talk about, because that's not the reason I'm saving money. The saving money.
You should have just went rogue and said what you wanted to say anyway. It's live TV.
But it's actually kind of hard as well, because they had TVs in front of me. Like, I don't know, when you were watching, was I looking off to the side a lot? Okay, so the thing is,
you were like,
okay, yeah. See, that's so awkward because I haven't watched the footage back yet and I haven't seen, because they have all these TVs around the camera that you're looking at, and I was under the impression that they were doing B-roll, but the B-roll just plays, and that's just when someone's talking and like, the other pictures come over, like stock images of people pulling out cash from an ATM and things like that. You know when they do that in the news? So all those things were playing around the camera. So I'm thinking that that's what Australia is seeing.
No, it was just you the whole time.
It was just me the whole time, and I didn't realise that. So I was like, she told me look down the barrel of the camera the whole time, but obviously I'm thinking, and there's a fucking 20 distractions. The other biggest like LOL of the whole thing, everyone, is I'm just going to let you know, it looked like I had been flown in via satellite for that. The hosts were 4 meters away from me.
Why did
they were in the same room as me, across the room. I could see the host like literally 5 meters away from me.
Why did they do that instead of just putting you on the couch next to them?
I don't know. I don't know if that's
Do they not want you to not go near them?
I don't know. I don't know if it's some sort of, it might be like a COVID protocol, though no one was wearing masks in the studio, but I mean, it might be something like that. It's kind of might be easier to get people on and off if they have them around there. I don't know, but I was just like, this is so... I was
expecting to see you on the couch with them.
Well, same. I don't know what I was doing. Anyway, the point is,
you
like,
just
it was just like the most surreal. I was just kind of like, what the fuck am I doing here? And to be doing this for 10 years and I'm talking about $50 notes on national
it was really random of you.
And I was trying to inject comedy into it, but also the segment moved so fast. By the time I got my point out, I didn't even have time to make a joke, or like, I will be honest, like, I do not think live TV is for me, and I did not enjoy the experience. Then it was really weird. Like, once it was over, I was just like, because when I got there, people greeted me, took me to the green room, blah, blah, blah. And then once it was over, I was just kind of sitting there. Someone came and took my earpiece and my microphone off.
It's very like routine.
Boom, boom,
boom,
that was it. I was
gone.
like, so do I just see myself out? Do I just leave now? Like, I went and got my jacket, and I was like, I guess
they're running a tight ship, I would imagine.
Yeah, like, I get it. Like, I totally get it. But I'm just kind of like, it was just so weird to like see it all unfold in front of me and be like, oh, this is not... Because for me, like, one of my like things I've always wanted to be on live TV, not for spending cash, like for something a bit more exciting than that. But I was kind of like, oh, I don't think this is actually like what I actually don't want to do it again, if I'm honest. If people ask, and today I'm going on the project as well. We're recording that later, but that's recording and then putting into a segment later.
Right.
So that's fine. But I think live TV for me, there was just so much unnecessary like anxiety and stress, and just the whole production of like the hosts are over, because of course they're talking across the room, but I'm hearing them in my ear, but I'm also hearing them across the room. It was all weird like that.
Yeah, your eyes were like shifting side to side.
Yeah.
Well, it was an experience.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think if given the opportunity, I would want to go on live TV. Because I don't know, I don't watch it that much, but maybe like the TV's on in the morning and then I'll just like watch what they're doing, and I can see like how much of a well-oiled ship they run. Like, it's this person's on, that person's on, now it's this segment, now it's a food thing, now it's a beauty recommendation. Like, the whole thing feels very robotic to me because it's all timed down to the second and everyone's on a script. I would be worried, like, if I ever got invited on there for whatever reason to talk about business or podcasts or whatever, that, like, one of my biggest fears with getting interviewed is that you can be very badly interviewed and it can make you look like an idiot.
Yeah.
And so, not that I've ever been given the opportunity to go on to talk about business or anything, but I can just imagine, like, if I went on a morning show and just say it was to talk about business or fate, they'd be like, oh, so, like, your brand, like, this is your little business. Like, I can see, like, it being downplayed and then me coming across like a dumb idiot.
Yeah.
And I will say I have been on one podcast before, which was an amazing opportunity, and it's not in the Nova Network, I'm going to say that, but I went on a podcast once before, and I walked out of there and I felt like I came across really stupid, or like I didn't get to say amazing things because the questions that were asked to me were not good questions. So yeah, I've experienced not a bad interview before, but just being asked like the wrong questions. And if it's live, then that pressure's there to just answer those questions, and it's really hard to divert it to anything else. So I think I'd be too scared to go on it, just coming across like a fucking idiot.
Yeah, I didn't really feel like an idiot, but the moment that the questions started being different, I mean, still the same crux of the story.
Yeah.
It wasn't like they threw me huge curveballs, but like I had been told what they will ask, and there was kind of a storyline to follow. Like, it was like, why did I start using? What have I learnt? How much have I saved? What should people spend their money on? It was only meant to be a 4-minute segment. It was like a minute 40.
Yeah.
So it was just really like, I don't know, live TV, not all it's cracked up to be. I was kind of like, oh, I'm going to have to think about whether because also it cost me money to come in for blah, blah, blah. And the funniest thing was I was off, like the minute it was off, I was like out the door in the Uber back home, like back in bed 20 minutes later. I was just like, what a fucking whirlwind. But anyway, if you're wondering what I've learnt since changing, swapping to using cash, basically what happened was I'll tell you everything that I was going to say on Sunrise. How's that? Here's the High Scrollers exclusive. This is what was meant to happen. So last year I noticed that my spending was a bit out of control. The budget that I would give myself each week, I found that when I was tapping my card, I would always go over that and I would just not care about it. Say everyone's budget is different, but let's just say, for example, I gave myself $100 a week to spend. Well, I would just tap my card and suddenly I've spent $200 this week when I was only meant to spend $100. And so what I did at the start of the year is all my regular expenses like rent, phone bill, groceries, petrol, those things don't really change very often. So I know they're going to be exactly the same amount of money. So I still put all those on card, but any of my wants or any of my splurge money or any of my extracurricular activities and recreational spending, so that is movies, dinners with friends, new clothes, new outfits, whatever that may be, the things that aren't like necessities, but your budget that you just spend on whatever you want. I've always in my budget allocated all my things, put a little bit in savings, and then I have a couple $100 to spend on whatever I see fit that week. Mm-hmm. As I said though, problem last time was that I was going over that budget because it was so easy to tap. So I was like, okay, instead I'm going to be taking the money out each week when I get paid, and it'll be cash. And at the start of the year, I was definitely still spending the $100 and having a couple dollars left over, obviously, from the change. But I was pretty much spending the $100 every single week. Now I find that it's changed my financial literacy, and also my relationship with money has changed, that now I find myself saying, if it's Tuesday, I might be like, oh, do I really need to buy this? Because on Friday I might be going out for dinner and I might want to spend $60 on that lovely... When we tap our phones,
it just feels like not real. Like,
right?
Just ding, ding, ding. Like, you don't even think about it.
Yeah.
Which is dangerous.
So now I like consciously think about every single thing that I purchase, and it's rewired my brain. And it obviously was clunky at first. It was hard to do at first. It was... awkward to pull out cash, especially when you're at a cafe and they've already like pressed the FPOS machine and turned around to start making your coffee, and like you've got to stand there and be like, sorry, I'm paying cash. And a lot of people say like, oh, but some businesses don't take cash anymore. And in my 6 months, I've not experienced that one time. There hasn't been one instance where that has happened.
I will say, like, from a business standpoint, I can understand when businesses do no cash. Only reason being is, like, from a convenience standpoint, it is so annoying to handle cash in your business. It's like a whole, I'm sure you would know from back in the day when you worked at Macca's and wherever, like the whole cash handling part within a business is like a whole other part that's super annoying. Then you've got to trust your employees with cash. Cash is a thing that they can easily steal. And then there's the whole thing of the till was down today and who hasn't done the banking. Like, so I can kind of get it. Like, from a business standpoint, just being able to go tap, 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 and all your transactions are online. It's a lot more streamlined for businesses that way. I would love to not fucking have cash in our businesses just because it's so annoying handling it and dealing with the till being down $75 and having to fucking find where it went.
Mm-hmm.
But I also get that people don't want us to become a cashless society because it is good to have cash.
Yeah.
Cash is king.
Yeah, cash is king. And like, I'm not salty if you don't want to take cash in your business, but I have just told people, because a lot of people said, what if you come across a business that doesn't take cash? As I said, that hasn't happened to me yet. But honestly, why are you making excuses? Like, if you really want something, what I found when I made that video is a lot of people were like, this sounds like a great idea, but what about this? And I'm like, well, there's a really fucking easy solution to that, Martha. Like, let's just sort it out. Because I'm like, are you wanting to save money or are you just lazy and looking for an excuse? I feel like everyone who had a complaint is just looking for an excuse to not make it work for them.
People love to complain.
My lifestyle right now and my needs and what I need to live the lifestyle that I would like requires a business to take my cash, because that is what I have decided. If your business does not take cash, I'm not salty. I'm not some boomer who's like, I'm just simply going to go elsewhere because your business does not fit my needs. Why would you shop at any business that doesn't fit your needs? Do you know what I mean? Like, get over your excuses, get on with it. Look, it's not revolutionary. It's not some life-changing hack that's going to make you $1 million. It's just like, in this economy, every cent counts, and it has really helped boost my savings. So now at the end of the week, let's say I give myself $100 in my budget, I'll find that I have around $20 to $40 left over at the end of the week, because I have consciously made decisions. Do I need that coffee? Do I need to buy that book? Do I need to buy that new outfit? Do I need to buy this? Do I need to go out for dinner? And if I do go out to dinner, do I need to order 4 cocktails or maybe just the one? Because there might be something else in the week. So obviously it takes a lot of discipline. But anyway, if you're looking to save a bit of money, try switching to cash and see how it improves your relationship with your money. Because for me personally, it's done wonders. So I recommend it.
That's your recommendation of the week.
Any other questions or comments or concerns from Brittney today?
No.
Thank you for making this episode all about me. We'll be sure to make next week's one all about you, darling. Thanks for listening to Close Friends. I don't know how to wrap this up, so let's just...
Go get some cash out.
Oh, no, I've already got it out. So it's Monday. I've already got my cash out for the week.
Everyone else go get your cash out.
Oh, right, okay. So I've got mine ready to go.
Do you go to a specific ATM?
No, but I'll usually do it like... Because I'm with ING, so no ATM fees anyway.
Oh, that's good.
Because they don't have any physical branches or physical ATMs, so they can't they don't charge for ATM fees because they're like, we don't have any of our own, so we get them refunded. We have to pay it, but then it refunds automatically.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Shout out to ING.
Yeah, ING is a great bank to be with if you want to save. Barefoot Investor girls and boys and everyone in between. If you read the Barefoot Investor like we all did in the fucking pandemic, I have 20 fucking buckets. And it's all working out well since switching to cash anyway. So there you go. Have fun. Have a good weekend. We'll see you on Tuesday, Dales. Bye.
Bye.